You mentioned you also had to take some time off from college, and then you went to Alma, I think it
Yep,
was?
I went to Alma. I got another scholarship there, and then we could go. That story, that I took time. I was at my junior year, 72 credits plus, and my mom, it was some type of bad contract, something I'm not gonna say too much, but I know she probably, needed more assistance, and this is why it's so important. I'm trying to be the man that I'm being now and gonna become, because I found if my mom had a man at that time, or my father in the household, she could have got that balance and help she needed. At that time of going to Alma, it was like that recession year, early, that 2000, going to 2010. Yeah, you guys remember.
Yep.
And she lost our hair salon in our 4 or 5 bedroom house that she worked hard for in Kenwood. And I just had, I had to come home, because it's like, once you don't have any taxes information, your mom in that type of situation, something probably new to her as an individual, or she got to work her. It was like, I can't focus. I gotta go back home.
You talk about that, and again, that's inspiring to me, because in life you're going to have setbacks, right?
Yeah.
And for your mom to be able to do it by herself, get her business, get the house she wanted, and then still have to let that stuff go because of things that were out of her control.
Yeah.
And people would, there's kids that I work with that say, well, so-and-so can do it because they have it easy. They don't live the life that I live. They got, I got so many obstacles. And then hearing you say that, you got your mom in this situation where she made it.
Yeah.
But then she had to let go of it.
And,
But she kept going even after that. And so many people be like, well, I did it and it got taken away from me, and then they give up. That's life though.
That's not wolf talk.
Right. I love that. So
wolf is about, wolves survive in all weather, all seasons, and they lead their packs, and they actually help each other. They mold each other to lead their own pack, and that's what wolf talk is about. Just giving them wisdom each individual needs in order so they can lead their own pack. So when I see my mom surviving, my grandma, people around me, women around, it's like, okay, we're wolves in this human being experience. That's the part of, God made everything. So it's like, wolves gotta survive like humans gotta survive. Animals and humans are the same. Gorillas, all. So it's like, you just can't give up. You can't stop surviving. You can't stop leading a pack.
I like that imagery that you just set there, where it's, to survive, you can't do it by yourself.
You can't.
You got to be able to trust other people. You got to be
part
able
of
to
the
do
pack.
it. Yeah, you got to be able to
to
do it together. There's a lot of people who have that mentality, that survivalist mentality, but they're thinking like taking away from others. I'm going to survive by taking away from you. And the imagery you just gave was, I'm going to survive, but we're going to survive together. We're going to work together to make this happen. Right. I love that. I do love that.
And I'm going to, just like, Sean, you guys, I've been on a lot of shows, radio, I have to give now, after, the DU, I chose not to give up. It was hard leaving a private school like Alma, and if it's a great healthcare school, things like that. But I had to give it up. But then, going back, I had got a job, working at a factory, just helping my mom, stuff like that. You can only imagine. But like, I remember that vow to myself, like, man, I'm gonna be something. I know she gonna need me. It's about like, she looked out for me, taking care of me those years, and it gotta be, she created me. What I read, she created me to, in her elderly years, to return the same. Yeah. So I remember that about myself at 12, seeing her cry, and then seeing her cry more. You know how they're just seeing just natural stuff. You should have seen her. She ain't like losing that stuff, but she kept her head high. Yeah. It shows in the results. So I decided to do the same thing, and when I reapplied, after, after working a factory and stuff, I reapplied randomly at Davenport in Michigan State and Grand Valley, and I got accepted. I chose Davenport just to stay close to my mom. And
you talked a little bit about applying for FAFSA, financial aid, all that stuff. And,
by myself.
Right. So it very similar to my story as well.
Exactly.
My parents, my dad worked 2 or 3 jobs. My mom had to work 2. but they didn't have an account separated. You know, they weren't saving up for that kind of stuff. No. They were surviving.
Like we got
friends, bills to pay today. We can't really think about that stuff. And, you know, and I understand it. So growing up, getting out of high school, I didn't have this nice little cash cow or, you know, this bank where I could just pull money out and start going to school. I had to do the same thing, you know, look at financial aid by myself, get a job,
learn again,
you know, pay it myself. And so talk a little bit more. I do want to hear a little bit more about that because, you know, I find it inspiring to anyone who may be listening who thinks, wow, you know, I can't make it because I don't have a daddy who's got $1 million. I don't have somebody who could just, you know, give me money so I could do these things. Well, I didn't have money. You didn't have money.
Yeah.
And we're doing it.
So going back. So it literally, it was so fun, you know, this human being experience, you know, such an adventure, watching my mom doing stuff by herself. Mm-hmm. I just decided to be like, you know, if this little cute woman could do it and she don't be, she doesn't have the education, education as my friends and their parents, sometimes it was hard going to these rich schools, she put in me, I'm just understanding why she did it, as I'm growing as a man, it's cool knowing now I fully know, but it was like, it was so key that she did because I would always be, Rizzo, I always be around the best kids, It was cool being around the Gossians, Tiedemans, DeVosses, a lot of good families in this city. But sometimes I'd be getting, a little, jealous or, like, dang, they got they got their people to help or they got, they got stuff set up for their future and whatever. But I decided seeing them have it good and just, hanging and vibing with them, I made it a mental choice young to be like, all right, I'll just be around these type of families and individuals and colleagues God put me close to natural and just take the best out of not just my friends, but who created them, their parents. Right. Because I knew already, like, my mom wasn't talking about setting up for college. She just wanted me to go and be like because she didn't know. Mm-hmm. When people not doing, like I said, if I'm the first to get my degree, as a man in my family, I'm the first to be walking the HR path. It's like I'm the first at doing a lot. So it's like genuinely, it's like it's about making a choice. That's why I always fall back to God because, bro, that's the only, like, once you get close to God and you really just in your spare time just try to read and research and study, you will know the vibe energy like I know you.
And although you didn't have, people like, I don't know, the DeVos had their family that took care of them financially, because you're doing what you're doing now, your kids could say, well,
I gotta be the foundation.
Exactly. And you're doing it for future generations to come, and then they'll look at you and say, well, he did it, and so we could do it too. Exactly. So you're setting a big example for the community as well here in Grand Rapids, because I don't think that there's really too much people like that we could look up to.
And it's that simple. Like, we could have the Floyds, we could have the Floyd Mayweather, the DeVosses, all the big names, but we'll talk about for us, like, we could be at the top of our individual worlds as a janitor, as an IT person, as the top, web designer, as a top HR. It's this Wolf Talk is to lead us to being at the top of our worlds and being an example that the packs around us or the people around us need and they could copy and keep us balanced.